10 years, I've worked on and off. All right, we go past.
You need to go.
Oh, his dad's got it.
Do you need to?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
My brother was just asking me something. So from I left, I left school in year 11. I went to college.
Mm-hmm.
I never really knew what I wanted to study, but I enjoyed textiles in school because of my teacher. So I thought I'll go study fashion in college. I mean, fashion and clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got there. I can't draw, but I'm very good at detailing. So I can label exactly what's going on in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I managed to pass my course. My tutors thought I weren't going to pass because I just wouldn't go to college some days. They'd call my mom and be like, she's not here. And my mom's at college herself. So it's like, I'd be like, if you really want to speak to my mom, she literally goes to the campus up the road. Like, I can actually get her to come down. My mom's one of them where when it comes to her kids, she will come. If you need her, she will come. So I passed anyway. They were like, "Oh, I'm surprised you passed." I was like, "Just because I'm not here, that does not mean that I don't do my work. I just sometimes don't work in a group of people making noise. Like sometimes I need to be away and work in silence, but you'll get the work done."
Yeah.
I finished college. I think my first job was an apprenticeship in a light shop.
Mm-hmm.
They said it was retail, so I was like, "Okay, I'll try a bit of retail. Let me see what it's like." Because I was lucky that my year was the last year that don't have state education until we was 18.
Okay.
So now everyone has staying in education until they're 18.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was lucky like my last year
Hey,
was
no,
like,
no, please don't tell me that. I thought it was 16. When did this change?
so I left school in 2014. So that was the last cut off year that,
Oh my goodness me. I thought I only had another 2 years of homeschooling. So you're saying I have 4 years of homeschooling now, yeah?
yeah, doing education until
Oh,
they're
thank you
18.
for that. I'm going to love you
Sorry.
for
But
that. I'm going to
at
pass
least you
that on
know.
to my hubby. Oh, okay. So we have a major decision to make now, but I'll park that.
Yeah.
Yes. Carry on, carry on.
So
Sorry.
my first job was in a retail shop
Mm-hmm.
selling lights. I didn't know what type of retail it was. I just okay, I'll try it. I got the apprenticeship. I
Okay.
hated the job. They had me doing data entry, writing in codes, and I was like, this is not really giving like very retail-y.
Mm.
And how am I supposed to sell lights to people like I'm young? Like I don't have sales skills. I'm still new like to working.
Yeah, yeah.
So I left there. I was like, I'm not going back. And then I started working at the Blues football ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved that. I started thriving in there. I ended up becoming a team leader eventually because the one time the manager wasn't there. So because I used to work in the boxes. So people that pay for like the season
Okay, yeah.
and spend a lot of money in these boxes.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
used to work there where it's like private boxes. They come with their family. They sit and have dinner and watch the football match.
Mm-hmm.
I did hospitality. I did like hospitality first,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was just doing that, and then I ended up doing some agency work. Started to learn how to do bar work.
Mm-hmm. Bar
Did some
work.
more.
Bar work. Did I hear you right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this before
So
you work a job or
yeah.
afterwards?
So this is in
Makes sense
my
now.
younger
Okay.
years.
Okay. Yeah.
So then I learned to do bar work,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did different. I worked in agency, so I traveled in different places. I did like Cheltenham Racehorses, the NEC. I just did different jobs, and I enjoyed it because one, you're not really at work every day. You kind of just pick your shifts and you go. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I went from having to be somewhere Monday to Friday, hating it,
Mm-hmm.
to being at the Blues where I'm doing match days. So yet again, I'm only doing whenever they got matches.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was like, okay, because I'm going to do matches, it's not really beneficial finance wise
Mm-hmm.
because I was living away from home by then. I left home a month before I turned 18.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get into that bit of the story of like how I like leaving home and understanding that side. So then for finance wise, it's not really making sense. So then I picked up agency work, learned how to do bar work, and learn how to do silver service in hospitality where you set up tables and all these things in the other side of hospitality. Like it's not just serving people, you've got different types of hospitality. So I learned how to do all of that. I learned how to carry like 3 plates in one go and all these skills that you pick up
Mm-hmm.
along the way. Then I started working in a prison. So at 18, I turned 18 in December. By the February, I was working in a prison. I became a prison officer after I did my training. Then I did that. I was in the prison for just under 2 years, and then in transition, I moved to front of house. So then I had less contact with prisoners, but then I was working more like searching the vehicles that come in, searching their families, booking visits, managing just the front house of the jail.
Mm-hmm.
I was still doing bar work because sometimes I used to leave work. I used to do like 7 to 1 some days. I'd leave work, go do agency work, come home probably about 11. I did have a partner at that time and he used to think I was crazy. It's like, why you always at work? I was like, I don't mind working because you know what? It kind of like maybe kind of fuels my brain to keep active. I'm not someone that really can keep still. So then I used to do that and then I left. And then what did I do after that? I've worked in a warehouse. I didn't like Amazon. I tried Amazon. I said, let me try it. I absolutely hated it. I was tired. My feet used to hurt. I was like, I am not going back there again. So I left.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm trying to just figure out what else I've done. Then I worked. I did it off some of a retail like actual. I think it was like actual retail shop in Bullring, but
Mm-hmm.
that was through an agency. So they kind of gave me a test that as in like, would I actually like retail full time? And I
Yeah.
was like, no, I absolutely hate it. I was in the backs folding clothes and putting stuff on. I was like, this is not me. Like all these jobs, unless it's working with certain people in capacities, it's not me. So
Yeah.
this is how I started analyzing what I actually like. And I always say to people, it's okay to leave a job, but what's your end goal? What type of person are you? Because you go into jobs, you're going to leave it. I've done it. So this is how I started realizing I like working with people, but in what capacity?
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanted to become a teaching assistant when I first went to college, but I felt like the college wasn't helpful. They were like, you need to find your own school to work at and you need to pay for your DBS. I was like, but if I'm 16, how do you expect me to pay for my own DBS and find a school? So I kind of put up being a teaching assistant, and that's kind of why I ended up studying like fashion because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do something. You like never helped. My goal when I was younger was to be either a midwife or a child psychologist. So I've always known I wanted to help people in some sort of area. Just never analysed to what. And then fast forward in life, I became a teaching assistant. I studied. This is when I had my little one. So we went into lockdown. I was a support worker for vulnerable adults. So I used to work with HMOs and housing people and doing support sessions. Then we went into lockdown. I was pregnant, so I was furloughed. Gave birth to my little one. I said to my employer, I'm not coming back because I was like, I want to raise my son for the first 5 years, even though he's 5, and I ended up going back to work before that. And then while I had him, I did my first 2 years parenting him. Didn't really do much. I just kind of just enjoyed motherhood and taking it as because it goes really quick. I enjoyed it. He got to 2. I was like, okay, what do I want to do? So I was like, okay, he can go to nursery. He did his 15 hours. I then started doing some studying. So while he was at nursery, I was like, okay, let me study at home to see. I'm not a person, I don't want to study in a class, but if you ask me to study because I want to, I'll do it at home. I don't want to sit in a class with people. I always thought I don't really want to be with people that are younger than me because you like just gonna talk too much and distract me. I just want to focus on what I want to do. So I studied mental health awareness. Then I studied understanding behavior that challenges, and that's kind of like what started letting me tap into becoming a teaching assistant. But then ultimately, what helped me get there was I studied special educational needs. So that's how I became a qualified teaching assistant in SEND needs more than a normal TA going the other TA route. So I say to people, there's something called loophole qualification. So a qualification that can get you through the door of that job. And that's how I started going into like the teaching assistant world, and I was thriving in it. I had no problems. The company I used to work for was a brilliant company. I still have connections to them now. So where people want to go into teaching assistants, one of the consultants I'm really close with. So I send people to her and we've built that relationship. As much as it started off as a working relationship, we've
Mm-hmm.
also built a relationship outside of that. So I always say to her, if I know anybody that wants to go into, I'll send them to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not how to me. It's I'm not benefiting nothing from it. I don't get paid from it. For me, it's like if I know you want to go, let me put you in the hands with someone that actually will help you.
Yeah.
Let me just not send you off, but let me put you in contact with somebody that actually is passionate about helping people get into this field and supporting them. And then I've worked with other agencies as well, and I reached back out to them. This was like in my other job, and I was like, and they remembered me. I was a good worker, and I'm surprised they actually remembered me. They're like, last time you worked here was like 2000 and something. I was like, oh no. They're like, so what are you doing now? And I told them, and that is how I built relationships back with people because I've worked with them. So most people that I have employer relationships with, I've worked with that company, or it's people that try to reach out to me about jobs, and I've just said, okay, this is what I do now. Are you happy for me to send CVs over? They're like, yeah. I'm like, listen, I'll vet everybody for you. I'll make sure that they're job ready. You tell me what your requirements are. I'll make sure I've got the right people. I'll make sure their CVs are correct. And that's how I built my employer. So my employer talent pool is people that I've built relationships with. Like if I have to pick up the phone and I've got their number, I can do that. I can drop them an email, no problem. I'm not telling you to go online and apply for that job. I'm like, listen, I can contact this person, and that's how we worked. And then from teaching assistant, I went into the employment sector. I became an employment advisor. So that's how my employability sector kind of started. My job was you have a caseload of people, you gotta get them into courses or work. So this is how I started understanding the job market a bit better and understand it's not as simple as just applying for a job and getting it. You have people that have barriers, language barriers, and you notice that a lot of people don't get support in areas. So people that come out of prison, because I've worked in a prison, I used to see people that used to leave and they'll be back next week and I'll be like, where are you back? They're like, miss, I just couldn't cope on the outside. So where I understood that side, I would have people on my caseload that have different things setting against, and I would advocate for them. Where everyone's trying to shut the doors on them and saying, oh, do this, report them, do this, I'm like, you don't understand where some people are coming from in certain aspects of their life. They're not going to risk their safety to come to an appointment. If we can work with them, we will get further. And that I was that person that would be fighting against managers to be like, no, I'm not going to get this person sanctioned. We're going to figure out how we can support him. He can't attend the appointments with us, but can we do the appointments at the job centre? I spoke to the manager at the job centre. They was trying to tell me, no, you can't do that. So then I went to the actual provider that dealt with our paperwork, and I spoke to one of them and I said, okay, if we've got someone that's got this situation, how can we go about it? He was like, I don't care where the appointment is done as long as it's done. So then I had to go back to management and said, they said I could do this as long as it's done and signed. It went back to the job centre. I told them exactly the same. They was like, okay, you can do the appointment in the job centre. I said, okay, that's all it was. Everybody else was fighting his back and wasn't supporting him. So I gave him a call and I was like, okay, I've managed to sort something out. We can do your appointments going forward, XYZ. He was so thankful. He was like, everybody else keeps sending me these letters telling me I'm going to be sanctioned. I was like, I'm not everybody else. My job is to help you. And that's how I realized, like, this is the sector I like to be in. I like to help you. I like to solve solutions to problems. And that is what, like I said, I've had my business, but I've always just very worked in the background with my business. It's just now it's at the forefront of everybody. And now it's in people's faces. They're like, okay, how do we stop her business? You can't stop my business. Like, it's never going to stop. My business has always been here. The only thing is, it's now being publicized. So now it's there, it's in everyone's face. And this is what I was trying to say to them in the meetings, that as much as my business was registered while I was working for you, that's correct. But my business has always been there. People have always come to me. I've had companies being like, okay, we're looking for staff. Okay, I've got X amount. I've got CVs ready. I'll send you a list of people and what jobs they're looking for. That's fine. They had no problem. No one had no issues. The job centers, I've got good relations with them, from work coaches to managers and to people above the manager. So you got like a nationals team. So people that oversee everything that goes into the job centers. Me as an individual, I have a lot of connections to different people in different ways. So where people think they might look at me and be like, oh, she's young. But when I'm telling you, like, I know what I'm doing. I know how to talk to people, where I've got things done that not many people have connections to people that are above just work coaches or just managers. So where I came to this job with over 200 referrals, that's from different job centers. That's different people. There's 200 people that not everybody knows. So when I used to go job fairs, they already knew who I was. So where people probably don't even know who I am, but you've got work coaches and managers come to say hello to me, they're like, who is she? Because they don't have me on LinkedIn, but they know I know a lot of people. And then when they do have me on LinkedIn, they're like, should I really post much on her LinkedIn? So to a lot of people, they're trying to figure out, okay, what is it about me that people like? And I say to people, I'm not here for the money. Any job I do, as much as I've got bills to pay, my passion is for helping people. So I'm not going to come across, I'm not going to sugarcoat and play ball with you all the time, because you lot have got tick boxes. You want me to do a job, I've got to do my job in a way that's effective to whoever I'm supporting. So yes, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to people, oh yeah, you're going to get a job. No, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie to you about the job market. If I've got an employer, and they want to take your CV, I'll let you know. I've sent your CV over. I'll update you on the process. I'm not gonna just leave you in the dark and you're waiting, because people that are applying for jobs, they get that all the time. They're just waiting for an update. I'll tell them I've sent your CV over. The employers come back to me and they've said no. At least you've got an answer straight away. I'm not leaving you in the dark and you're like, oh, okay, so what's going on? I know everything. And even when people go over to employers, I still support the learner. If you need help applying for travel, I will do that. So this is what a lot of them like, that as much as I send people over, I'm still supporting the learners. And this is just me. So where I feel like this company lost somebody that they didn't realize is good at what they actually did, they will start seeing like, okay, she actually is good at what I thrive in what I do. My whole thing is to find solutions to people's problems. So where I don't just leave people when they go into a job, fine. I will support you. Do you know how to apply for travel? Do you know how to get uniform through the job center if you need support? Do you know XYZ? Because I'm not just coming with from an employability background. My background varies in different sectors. So my advice I give you is from different areas. The same way, if I know somebody like personal to me that can do something, I'll speak to the customer and be like, okay, I know somebody that can do it, but it's not somebody work related, it's someone I know. Do you want me to put them in contact with you? They say yes. Yeah. So then I'll speak to the person, whoever I know, and be like, okay, I've got a learner that's wants some advice or something. Are you okay to speak to them? So I'll clarify on both ends. And if they're happy to send their number over, then that I've had that conversation openly with everybody. If they're not, then they're not. And that's fine. And that's just how I've worked with a lot of people. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm very honest with you. If I can't do it, I can't do it. But I will try find a solution or find someone that can do it for you. And I've just like, I won't beg anybody to see my worth. You either see from when I work with you, or you lose me and then you see the other side where it's like, okay, maybe she actually is good at what she does.
You know what? Sometimes I think some things happen and they're a blessing in disguise. We don't notice it at the time. But from what you're saying, I think they've lost a jewel basically. Okay.
Sometimes businesses work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes your relationships are not always business relationships. The same with my business. Like,
Yeah.
I've offered some of my younger cousins to come onto my business. They never took the opportunity. I'm not going to ask them again. And I've said to them, what happens is, once I've asked you once
Yeah.
and I've gave you the opportunity to hand where you would agree with my business,
Mm-hmm.
don't then look for handouts when
Yeah.
the business is where it's supposed to be. Because if
You
you
didn't
have faith in
contribute.
me,
You didn't contribute, basically. Yeah.
you would have reaped and sowed the benefits that came with it. Because you would have been like, you know what? I've seen this business from when it was so micro small to where she weren't even asking me to do much. Now, if you tried to come back to me after like I'm well established and I've had this business for years, the roles that I was offering you are now gonna feel like she ain't even trying to offer me the job. Like, I've applied and she's not accepting me, and
Oh
that's gonna
yeah,
be
no, I
because
can see that happening. This is when they come back
you're
5 years
coming
later with regret.
you're
Yeah.
just coming because now you've seen that there's like a massive salary. You're like, oh, I wonder if I can do that. And it's like, if you grew with the business, you would have already had that role from the get go. You would have mastered your role where you probably would have been a manager in that role where I don't even oversee. Like, my brother works with me, but he works on my property side. And I said to him, like, as much as he's 18, I said, you master this side. So we got him set up on LinkedIn and all these things. I said, get a second number, get a second phone. That is your business number. When you get that number, let me know. I'll add it to your email. So he's got his own emails. And I said to him, no one will contact you unless it's to do with properties. No one wouldn't say, okay, oh, can you do a CV for me? Because that's not your job in the company. Your job is you work on properties. So you should only deal with landlords and property investors on that side.
So
People,
tell
oh,
me
there's like, we
about
have,
this other business that came out of nowhere, Tia. Tell me
so
about.
that's part of my business, and this is what I'm saying. Like, my business has so many avenues attached to it. Why
Okay.
people won't realize, like, my head is overseeing everything that's going on. So I have people that do online promotions for me. So that's like part of the sourcing where we do clothing and bags and all sorts of anything to do with that side. So they just promote online.
Mm-hmm.
That's your job. You literally promote online. I don't promote it. I just tell you what stock's available and I process orders and do all that side and teach you skills and all that. you do that. I don't bother you. If you want sales, you have to be promoting. If you're not promoting, you don't get sales. It's literally that simple. That's the moral of the story.
Commission only, yeah.
Any job in my company I can do
Mm.
because it's things that I've got skills in, so it's something I can do.
Yeah.
And then you've got the other side, which is what I've got my brother to get into, is he will look into and oversee the properties and understand how to speak to professional people that are landlords and how to finalize contracts. So these are things that he's got to learn. I've told him what his job description is and he's got it. He just has to start working off, okay, let me start reaching out. Let me start doing emails. Because emails are always the best thing to start with
What does
first.
that service provide? Is that helping people who are looking for a house to like rent somewhere who are
Yeah.
potentially on the dole or something or so, something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, so if it's someone that's looking, so there's two sides to it, but it's one he just manages.
Yeah.
So it's either that you're looking for a property and we'll help you go through that process, or it's the other side as looking into subletting properties and renting them out and
Okay.
speaking
Yeah.
to landlords. So the property side is a lot, but once you master it, you've done it.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
So it's him understanding all that and how to speak to not just customers, but how do you speak to people that are property investors and what is it they're looking to build, and when they've built these properties, what do they want to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where he's on that and
No
understanding
money
that. But it's
down,
very,
like the no money down scheme, stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
very early days with that
Yeah.
side.
I,
So
I
that's still
am
a work in
familiar. I am
progress.
familiar with that scheme. I met quite a few people when I went on that course I was telling you about who were like really, really, really like seasoned doing it. And they were like,
Yeah.
sell the courses to say, come here, let me teach you how to do it and stuff like. And a few people went off and went on the courses and came back. And like my head was like, I can't deal with that right now. I got into property on small scale, so I kind of roughly know about it. So I was just like, I just wanted to clarify. But yeah, sorry, carry
Yeah.
on next.
So it's just because that's very early days.
Yeah.
I've got obviously connected with people, so I'm still learning, but I'm learning with him.
Yeah.
And I said, once you understand it, it's
Mhm.
an easy side to master because you'll be like, okay, I can speak to them, I can send them emails, I can do phone calls, I can meet them face to face.
Mhm.
But it's steps to get in there. And once you're there, you've got nothing to worry about because you're like, now I've mastered a different skill that's outside of a normal 9 to 5 kind of role I've built
Yeah.
with the company.
Mhm. So that's that. And then there's the CV writing side of stuff. Yeah.
So that's like the employability side.
So
And then you've got
you
like,
help job seekers with CVs, or is it just young people coming out or even young offenders or whatever? Do you help everybody with CV?
no, I have everyone receives, if you need a CV, obviously I do it on a base basis. So if you're like 16 to 18, you're not going to be able to pay for your CVs. But what happens that comes with me doing your CVs, as much as I'm charging you to do your CVs, that's me now posting on my LinkedIn that I work with a client that's looking for a job. That's also me recruiting for you. So as much as you may think, oh, I'm just paying for a CV,
Yeah.
I inform them about the service that comes behind it. So I'm not just doing your CV and giving it back to you.
Yeah.
I'm doing it and saying, okay, this is what comes with this. So the fee you're paying, XYZ comes with it. It's not just a CV and I've just been like, okay, you've paid me, I've done your CV, I've left you. No, I'm also going to promote that you're looking for this work.
Mhm.
And when people come back to me and they're like, okay, I've got this role or that role, so I'm still helping them job search along the way. I'm still reaching out to employers for them. You've
There's a
just
lot of
paid me
doing.
to do
It
your
sounds like a
CV.
lot of doing.
Yeah.
That's very involved, isn't it? By the time you understand where they are, where they want to be, and like the gaps in the CV, or like potentially how to bridge that gap, or especially this intangible driver stuff as well now has been added to the mix. Whether you want to do it or not, I don't know. That's your choice.
And then
I
it's
think
understanding the job market as well. So I let them know like, okay,
there is that.
this is what's in the job market.
Yeah,
So there's
that's
a
what
lot
there
that
is.
goes in behind that.
Absolutely.
There's a lot that's going on behind that, and then there's just tapping into different areas of the business. So then you've got business will come to me because they're looking for either a venue or something. So then we have to spec what they're looking for. Then we have to make contacts on their behalf to other things like, okay, we've got a client that's looking for XYZ. So
Yeah,
we're finding the solution to your problem where you're not having to do it.
yeah.
You've just paid us a service to go and
Okay.
do all this. Come back to you with updates and tell you, okay, now we're at the contract stage. They want to sign this amount. How much do you want to do? Do you like this deal? Do you not like it?
So
and
it's
that's
kind
it.
of like this is now, excuse me, now we're talking about business development now, kind of like area and marketing and sales rolled
Yeah.
into one almost. Yeah, I get that too.